Okay, hey everybody. Yeah, today is Tuesday, February 21st, and it is currently like 2:30 in the afternoon here. And so I believe it's Monday in the middle of the night sometime back in the United States. But, I'd been here a couple months now, just over going on 3 months. And, I wanted to do an update on kind of what the first couple months have been like. So here we go. And real quick, I'm actually in my new place at the pool here. So it just stopped raining a little bit ago. But so here we go. The first couple months here. And, it started off with the flight. So I was here in August, did the flight out here in August. This is my first initial trip, really. And then the big difference between this last flight, though, that I did in December was I did it at night. And man, that made huge amount of difference when I got here. I felt, I didn't get a ton of sleep like I would, sleeping in a bed, but I felt great. I got here in the morning, and I just felt really rested. So the flight at night was a big change in this last flight. It made a big difference. The other thing that was different too, instead of flying to Manila, so I did fly out of LA again, but I flew LA to Taipei and then Taipei to Cebu. And I think the flight was a little bit shorter from LA to Taipei, and so that also made a difference. The Manila airport was all right. It's just a little bit crazy. It's really busy, lots of activity, hard to kind of navigate around. Like I had to go outside to get to my next terminal, and it was just kind of challenging to get around the Manila airport, while Taipei I thought was just real simple, just a typical kind of airport there. So that was a big difference. So that was my flight out. And then the first week I stayed in an area of town here called IT Park. And, it's about 30 minutes or so away from where I'm at currently. But I got an Airbnb out there, and I rented that for the entire month of December. And I used that time to really just kind of get myself secure, get set up. In that first week, I was just about finding my groceries, finding my water, finding restaurants. In that area of IT Park, right outside where I was staying, actually, there was this really cool night market that I can go to. It was about maybe 50 or so different little tents and little eateries you can go to, and that was incredible. And then also in that first week, I got my phone set up. I had T-Mobile service or Verizon service, so back in the United States, so I went with Globe service, and I got that set up that first week also. And that was really about it that first week, just kind of really adjusting to the time zone, resting and getting my phone set up and just checking my immediate area. Also in that immediate area, there's like a mall nearby, and the malls here are huge. They have a lot going on. Of course, like in malls in the United States, they have food and little restaurants and of course shops and stuff. But here also too, the malls have big grocery stores. It's actually where the big grocery stores are at for the most part, are in the malls. So yeah, that was the first week. The third week, the second and third week, what I had started doing is looking for a place to live. And like I said, I had the Airbnb for 30 days, and after that, I could extend it or found another place. But really, my goal in that first 30 days was to find a new place. So what I'd used to find places, I used a couple of tools. One was a site called RentPad, and that worked out well. I didn't actually end up finding a place through there, but I did use the RentPad to kind of go out. And it's just a website. You sign in, you kind of point where you want to live and areas of town you're looking at. And it is mainly for the Philippines. I don't think it works. It might work in other locations, but Cebu was one of the areas that you were able to choose and put in the criteria that I was looking for. But also I used Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook Marketplace was really, I think, the key thing that got me my place here. And Facebook is really big here in the Philippines. All businesses have Facebook pages. So yeah, that was really key. And ultimately what happened with Facebook Marketplace is I got hooked up with a broker who ultimately showed me around several places. So when I was looking for a place, there were some really key factors that I was looking for. One was in neighborhood. There's a couple of really good neighborhoods here in Cebu. Well, I don't know, I'm still learning, right? But the neighborhoods that I knew about coming into here were IT Park and then the Cebu Business Park, which are located around a couple of the malls that are here. And I'm sure there's a lot of great places to live, and I'm still learning, but those are the two areas that I knew I wanted to focus on initially. So that was key. And I also wanted a place that had a gym and pool and some really good common areas. So yeah, so that's why I chose this place that I'm currently in. You can see it's got a great pool. Behind me over here is it's a small gym, but it functions. So that was really my third and fourth week. It's just kind of, you know, looking at places, finding this broker, which was phenomenal. And he showed me like 3 or 4 places. I found like probably 2 or 3 different brokers, and ended up seeing probably about a total maybe 5 or 6 places. And after seeing several, I really got that this was it for many reasons. And I'll do a video on kind of where I'm at in this area here. So then, right around then, we're at Christmas, right? And that was, I had secured this place before Christmas, although I hadn't moved in yet. But within the third week, fourth week to here, I had secured this place. So, but Christmas here in the Philippines is really cool. And around that, you've got, they do a lot of decorating, a lot of lights. And they start in September and August, actually. When I was here in August, September, they were starting to put up the decorations, and I started hearing Christmas carols, and so there is a lot of holiday spirit here. So that was pretty cool. So let's see what else. So we're into Christmas, and then sort of January. So January, I got moved in. I got things set up. Was able to get set up with home internet. I use Globe for that. It's a 100 megabit internet link for about $30. So, whatever. I think it's probably about what you can find in the United States. It's not really a great deal. It's not really a bad deal either. At home I had fiber, so, but here, it's fine. I also, in that month of January, actually changed my cell service. So I signed up with Globe for my cell service, and I had a 3 megabyte prepaid plan, which was okay, but I was finding that between maps and internet and everything else that I was using, like web pages and stuff, that I was quickly using that 3 gigabyte of data. So I ended up upgrading to a 30 gig plan that came with like Disney Plus. I did have to sign a year contract, but whatever, it's fine. I can't remember how much that actually cost me per month. I think it's actually right about the same. It's about 1,500 pesos, so it's about $30 US a month for that type of data usage. And I've unlimited calls and texts, which whatever, right? Nobody calls me or texts me. But the internet was key for me, and I use it as a hotspot, and so that was really great. So I'd got that set up. And then also too, just kind of setting up my apartment. I got a crock pot, I got my fan, I had to buy some shelving to kind of put all my stuff in, a water pick for my teeth, sheets, mattresses, so on and so forth. So, and then that kind of got me into the late January or mid-January, but then but even before that, I started running, and that was really also one of the big reasons why I moved here, is to focus on my health, my well-being, my exercise, really recover from, my accident and things like that, just kind of really get in shape. So I'd started running, which was phenomenal. I've got this program that it's like couch potato to 5K. It just really starts you off at basic running. You're running like a minute, I think, initially. And you just kind of gradually work up to 30 minutes. So I'm in whatever the 4th or 6th week of that, and that's been phenomenal. So I started that, and then I also signed up for a gym, and there's a gym here called F45, and I think it's a global gym. I've seen, after I was looking at them a little bit, I've seen they have gyms all over. I think it stands for functional training, but it's this circuit training like Orange Theory and that, and it's phenomenal. I love it, and it's very hard, very challenging. I actually overdid it on the first week that I was there, and I was doing some jumping, which my knees just can't handle right yet. I mean, eventually, but I'm still, my knees are kind of been my weak spot since since my accident. And not that I hurt them, but just the tendons in sitting for 3 months, and when I got up to walking, my knees were a big factor. Kind of a slow point in that, and they still are a little bit today, but they'll get stronger. It's just taking time, and really it's just kind of getting them conditioned to be active again is what's going on there. So overdid it that first week and ended up having to take a week and a half off from doing really anything because my knees were all swollen and just uncomfortable walking even. And that was right after I got out of my wheelchair too. I had the exact same experience with my knees where they were just yelling at me. So anyways, and then shortly after that time, now we're in mid-January, Synalog came, and Synalog is this huge parade and festival that they do here to celebrate baby Jesus. There's this whole thing about it. I don't really understand a lot of it other than it's this huge event. So yeah, that was really cool. Millions of people were here. The town was just packed and mobbed. It was great. So that was mid-January. And then shortly after that, I caught the flu. I don't think it was coronavirus, regardless. Man, I was sick as a dog. And I ended up going to the hospital and, just to kind of because I was dizzy, the room was spinning, I was nauseous. I won't get into the gory details of it, but I felt uncomfortable with where I was at. So just went in, got kind of checked out, and they prescribed several different medications to help me, an antibiotic to help fight, kind of lung infections, things to help with dizziness. So, by probably 2 or 3 days, I was kind of feeling a little bit better, but that was definitely a rough go. And it really, took, like the flu, it took a couple weeks to get over. So, that was mid-February or so, and now that kind of in there. And so yeah, and now we're here, and I'm back exercising, I'm back running. That's been great, although I've been taking it easy at the gym. I've been only a couple times now, and I don't run or jump, not yet. I just really have to watch the impact on my knees. And my knees have been something that's been bothering me, honestly, for several years. It's just one of those things where, I got to work on a little bit. So yeah, back running, back into the gym. And also too, I just bought a scooter, and, just to kind of get around a little easier. You can get around with cabs, you can get around with jeepneys, which I have no idea how to use. So, there are transportation options, but as far as kind of discovering what's going on in here, scooter kind of makes it a little easier to do that. So I'm really excited about that. And prior to the scooter, I'd just been walking. I mean, I would walk, for hours, which has been great. Just discovering the area and where I live at, and, where I'm going to get my groceries, where do I get, my water and things like that. So yeah, just kind of discovering the area. So that's been the first 3 months and first couple months. And what I've got coming up, just relaxing, chilling. Now that I've kind of been racing around, focusing on my exercise, my health, get my running, where I can run up to 30 minutes. And then I've got another program that I'm going to be using to kind of expand that. Back in the gym, just really focusing on my health and exercise, and also too just exploring this area and neighborhood, and finding these other markets and stuff that are around is something I'm interested in. I also want to do a little bit of photography. And now that I got my scooter, I can carry kind of this stuff with me. I feel a little more securely, although I'm not at all scared about my safety. I mean, I think you have to be aware of what's going on no matter where you live. And also too, I think, I avoid a lot of those maybe pitfalls or dangers that maybe other people do. Like, I don't drink alcohol, right? And I think that's where a lot of people get in trouble here, is maybe they're at a bar. And I mean, there are a lot of ways to get in trouble like that and throughout the world, but point being is I feel really safe here. I think it's just great. Good place. But yeah, I can't think of anything else I want to say about the first 3 months. That's been it. Sorry it took so long. for my friends and family who have been wondering, hey, are you alive over there? Doing good, especially now that I've recovered from my bug. But yeah, no, it's been great, and I'll do some more videos. I've got one trip to Boracay booked in early April. I plan on going to Bangkok. I'm not sure when, but I'm going to do a Bangkok, mainly just for visa stuff. I'm going to try to get out before 6 months to go over there. I do want to go over to Bintan Island. I think now that I've got the scooter, and once I get a little bit better on that, where I'm a little more comfortable, I'll cruise up to Bintan Island and spend a week up there. I want to go back to Bohol, which is where I was at in August, and I want to get out there. So, you know, lots of things kind of going on, but just kind of chilling now that I got my place set up. I'm not really in a hurry to kind of do anything like I was the first couple months, just focusing on my exercise, making sure that I'm not hurting myself, but also too that I'm, you know, pushing myself and getting in shape. And that's about it right now. So I hope everyone is good out there and finding happiness, health for yourself. And that's it. All right, guys. See you next time.